So it's pretty clear we've identified the issue, not just us, but everybody, that Manchester United need a goal scorer. And we can talk, and we have done, about letting Lukaku go. But it's about who they get in January. And we've got a couple for you, Shaka, to talk about. One is Callum Wilson of Bournemouth, who's been linked with the Red Devils. And the other is Mario Mandzukic. What do you make of those two?
I think they're interesting prospects in that, well, one, Manchester United could do with two more strikers, given how thin they are in that department. And you've got a balance of a Callum Wilson who has done outstandingly well for Bournemouth, knows the Premier League, but at the same time, I don't think challenges Rashford for that spot in the long term. Whereas I think Mandzukic, who can play as an out-and-out striker, which we've seen in years gone by, particularly at Bayern Munich, and then at Juventus, was happy to play that foil for Cristiano Ronaldo as well. I like the prospect of both, because I still feel that if you see Marcus Rashford as your long-term centre-forward, and he can drift out wide to very good effect as well, it makes sense. Both of those for the reasons that I just explained.
Let's talk about the kind of ethos that United have right now with transfers. The players that they've brought in of late, certainly in defence, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, these are players who've got the best years still ahead of them and potentially could have a massive sell-on clause. Is it time for Manchester United to not so much rip that up, but it's something they would have to do temporarily to get someone like Mandzukic?
Listen, well, Mandzukic was linked with a move to Qatar, I think, in the summer.
Yeah, but he's 30-something, right?
Yeah,
his best years are kind of in the past.
So to get somebody like Mandzukic now, yes, I think that's achievable. To get somebody like Mandzukic in his prime is a totally different. Well, this Manchester United is a totally different. But
it goes against what United are trying to do. You're not going to get a sell-on clause for Mandzukic, and you're not getting his best years.
United need to sign good players quickly, regardless of who they are, where they're from, or their age. Because it's all well and good to sit here and say that you're building for the future and you're doing, and everybody, and while you're figuring out your long-term futures, everybody in the short and medium term is putting more and more distance between themselves and you, which then all of a sudden you have to hope everything comes good in 6 or 7 years or whatever it is. It was just an effort to compete with those who have made incremental changes and improvements year to year. It's a huge gamble to be playing.
As someone who earlier this week, when you and I spoke for ESPNFC, suggested, and I don't think it was flippantly, that for a short-term option, someone like Zlatan could do a job. Is it a case for United right now to go for short-term fixes?
I think United need a short-term fix, and you only have to look at the league table to get the evidence as to why that's needed. And I stand by, I think United need somebody like Zlatan, not only for his performances, but Manchester United have no characters. They have no leaders. And when have we been able to say that ever since when Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge, and as dominant a character as he was, as good a manager as he was, he always had big personalities that could lead a team out on the field. I don't think Manchester United I don't think they have that now, and I don't think they've had that for quite some time.
I read an article this morning that spoke about Manchester United now are what Manchester United were before Alex Ferguson.
That's before my time. I'm not as old as I may look.
But the point being...
I don't know what Manchester United were like before Sir Alex Ferguson.
They were another team that made an FA Cup final from time to time. Liverpool were the dominant side then. Now it's Liverpool and Manchester City. But it's tough for United fans when you've got the quality that they've had and the trophies that they've had as well to now be in a position of also-rans.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I totally sympathise with Manchester United fans who've been spoiled under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. I now also sympathise with the young Manchester United fans who are looking at their parents and thinking, why'd you give me this team? That aside, yes, I think, again, for all the rhetoric that you're hearing coming out of Old Trafford, I am hugely concerned about the lack of progress and the fact that everybody else continues to make those steps. And history has a way of repeating itself. Who thought that some 30 years ago we would have been talking about Liverpool, well, it's going to be another 3 decades before you win a title. You said that 30 years ago, you know, who knows the reaction you would have gotten. They would have taken you away in white coats. Now all of a sudden, not just what we see on the field right now, but more concerningly, the rhetoric he gets in from at boardroom level at Old Trafford. I think that's a bet worth taking right now. It could be quite a while before we're talking about Manchester United not just dominating Europe, but dominating England.
They got a choice. As Shaka said, they could do short-term fixes, or someone like Callum Wilson. They might need to spend, but they've shown they've done that with Wan-Bissaka and with Maguire, and previously to that with Pogba. Might need to spend a little bit of cash, open up those purse strings and get someone like Callum Wilson in, if that's what they decide to do.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.